I am 73 years old today, and I am about to tell you something that might actually upset you or make you feel uncomfortable. Almost everything you think you know about getting older is completely incorrect. And do you want to know the worst part? The people who should be teaching you the truth, your parents, your teachers, and society as a whole, are either lying to you or they simply do not know the truth themselves. You see, I spent the first 50 years of my own life believing the exact same lies that you probably believe right now. I truly thought I had everything figured out. I had a great career, a nice house, and the respect of the people around me. But when I turned 52, something happened that completely shattered everything I thought I knew about the world. And what I have discovered in the 21 years since that day has totally changed how I look at life, how I look at death, and everything that happens in between. But before I tell you what actually happened, I need you to understand one thing. The reason I am making this video is not to try and impress you or to make myself feel like a wise old man. I am making this because I am literally running out of time, and there are things you need to hear before it is too late for you to change. This isn't for my benefit, it is for yours. When I was 52, I had what doctors call a cardiac event. That is just a fancy medical way of saying that my heart tried to kill me. I was sitting in a business meeting, talking about money and future plans, when suddenly the whole room started spinning around. The next thing I can remember is waking up in a cold hospital bed. There were tubes coming out of my arms, and I saw my wife crying in the corner of the room. The doctors told me that I was lucky to be alive. They called it luck. I had just come face to face with the fact that I was going to die one day, and they called it a lucky break. But you know what? They were actually right. Because lying there in that hospital bed, with nothing to do but think and reflect, I realized something absolutely terrifying. I had been living my entire life on autopilot. I wasn't really alive. I was just going through the motions every day, checking off boxes on a list, and trying to meet everyone else's expectations instead of my own. And here is the part of that memory that still haunts me to this day. If I had actually died that afternoon, if my heart had stopped forever, what would I have really left behind? A nice house that someone else would live in? A retirement account full of money? A collection of trophies and achievements that nobody would even remember in 5 years? Let me tell you about the biggest lie you are probably telling yourself right at this moment. You are telling yourself, I have plenty of time. You say, I'll do that later. Or, when I am older, I will finally live the life I actually want. I see young people in their 20s, 30s, and even their 40s, and they are all saying the exact same things. They say, when I make more money, then I'll finally be happy. They say, when I get that big promotion at work, then I will allow myself to relax. Or, when the kids are all grown up, then I will travel the world. They think, when I finally retire, then I will do the things I love. Let me save you 50 years of regret with one very simple truth. That day never actually comes. Do you want to know why? Because the finish line always keeps moving further away. You get the promotion you wanted, and suddenly you feel like you need the next one. You make more money, and suddenly you feel like you need even more. You are always chasing something that is just out of your reach. And before you even realize it, you are 70 years old wondering where your entire life went. I lived this way. I spent 30 years of my life climbing a ladder of success, only to realize when I finally got to the top that the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. And the sad truth is, you cannot just climb back down and start your life over. Time does not work that way. It only moves in one direction. Here is something that nobody tells you when you are young. Chasing success is actually a terrible goal for your life. And I am saying this as someone who achieved every single thing I ever set out to do. I became a partner at my firm. I bought the big house. I had the respect of all my colleagues. And you know what? In the end, none of it really mattered. When you achieve a big goal, you feel amazing for about 48 hours. Then that feeling starts to fade away. You go back to feeling exactly like you did before. So now you think you need a new goal, a bigger achievement, and more praise from others. It is like being a hamster on a wheel, running in circles but going nowhere. I had a very close friend who died 3 years ago at the age of 68. He worked 70 hours every single week for his entire life. He built a business worth millions of dollars, but he never took a real vacation. He kept telling everyone that he would finally slow down next year. Well, next year finally came and he had a major stroke. At his funeral, his own son said, "My father was a very successful man, but I barely even knew who he was." Is that the kind of legacy you want to leave behind? When you get to be my age, your regrets won't be about the mistakes you made. They will be about the things you did not do at all. I don't lie awake at night thinking about business deals that failed. Those don't matter at all. Do you know what keeps me awake? It's the trip to Japan that I never took because I told myself I was too busy. It's the relationship with my own brother that I let fall apart. It's the book I always dreamed of writing but never even started. It's all the time I didn't spend with my children because I was staying late at the office. These are the things that eat at your soul, the missed opportunities, the paths you didn't take, the love you didn't show, the risks you were too afraid to take. You think you have unlimited time with the people you love, your parents, your siblings, and your best friends, but you don't. And one day, very suddenly, that time will run out. My father passed away when I was 45 years old. We had a very difficult relationship. I was always too busy to really sit down and work on fixing it. I kept thinking we would have plenty of time to talk once my life was less hectic. We never got that chance. He had a heart attack and was gone within a few hours. And do you know what my biggest regret is? It's all the Sundays I didn't bother to call him. It's all the times I said I was too tired to drive over to his house for dinner. It's all the little moments that I just let slip away. There won't always be more time. After my own heart attack, I made some very big changes. I stepped away from my heavy workload. I started saying no to things that didn't really matter, and I started saying yes to the things I had been putting off for decades. In these last 21 years, I have learned more about what life is really about than I did in the 52 years before that. What really matters is actually embarrassingly simple. It is spending time with the people you love. It is doing work that feels meaningful to you, not to everyone else. It is experiencing new things, not just buying more things. It is about creating memories and truly being present in the moment. I know this sounds very simple. When I was your age, I probably would have rolled my eyes and said, "Sure, that sounds nice, but I have bills to pay." And yes, you do have responsibilities. I am not telling you to quit your job tomorrow. I am telling you not to sacrifice what really matters for things that don't. Here's a question I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to be 100% honest with your answer. If you died tomorrow, would you truly be satisfied with the life you have lived so far? I'm not asking if people would be impressed by what is said at your funeral. I'm not asking if you achieved enough titles. I am simply asking, would you be satisfied? If your answer is no, then what on earth are you waiting for? What are you doing with your time that is so incredibly important that you are willing to gamble your one and only precious life on it? I am 73 years old now. I have been lucky enough to have good health since my heart attack. But every single morning when I wake up, I am very aware that I am living on borrowed time. We all are, really. But most young people just don't realize this yet. They think they are invincible. They think they have forever. But you don't have forever. I have 3 grandchildren now. And when I look at them, I see the exact same patterns I see in most young people today. They are always stressed out. They are anxious. And they are chasing things that will never actually make them happy. They are making the same mistakes I made. I try to tell them, I try to share what I have learned through all these years. But you know what? They don't really listen. Not because they are bad kids, but because they can't see it yet. They are living in the middle of the storm right now. They think their situation is special, and they think the old rules of life don't apply to them. That is exactly why I am making this video. Because maybe, just maybe, if enough people hear this message, one person will actually listen. One person will make different choices today. One person will avoid the deep regrets that haunt people like me. Every single day that passes, you are getting one step closer to death. Nobody likes to talk or think about this, but you do not have unlimited time, neither do the people you love. Your parents, if they are still with us, are getting older every single day. One day, probably much sooner than you think, they will no longer be here. Your friends, your spouse, your children, none of these relationships will last forever. So, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep putting off that phone call? Are you going to keep postponing that trip you've dreamed of? Are you going to keep telling yourself that you will make time later? Or are you going to wake up today and start living like your time is actually limited, because it is? If I could go back in time and talk to myself when I was 30 years old, here is exactly what I would say. Stop trying to impress people who don't even matter to you. Stop sacrificing your physical and mental health for your career. Stop putting off your joy until someday. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission to live the life you actually want to live. Start calling your parents more often while you still can. Start taking those trips you dream about at night. Start doing the things that scare you. Start saying no to the obligations that just drain your energy. Start saying yes to the experiences that make you feel fulfilled. And most importantly, start right now. Not next year. Not after you finish this current project. Not when you have more money or more time. Do it now. Because I promise you, the perfect time will never arrive. Life will always be messy. It will always be complicated. And there will always be 1,000 reasons to wait. But if you wait, you will wake up one day and realize you waited your entire life away. I am 73. If I am lucky, maybe I have 10 or 15 more years left. Maybe 20 if I am truly blessed, but probably less. And I am okay with that, because these last 21 years have been the richest and best years of my entire life. Not because I made more money, but because I finally started living with intention. I started appreciating every single day. I started making what matters the priority. I have traveled to the places I always wanted to see. I have deepened my relationships with my children and my grandchildren. I have pursued the hobbies I put off for years. I have finally forgiven people I held grudges against for a long time. I have said, I love you, more times than I can count. I am much happier now at 73, with less time ahead of me than I was at 30, when I thought I had all the time in the world. That is the great irony of life. When you finally understand that your time is limited, you actually start to live. You stop wasting time. You stop putting off your happiness. You start creating the right time yourself. You have a choice to make right now, today. You can keep living the way you are living, chasing success, putting off your happiness, and telling yourself you will make time later. Or you can wake up. You can realize that time is running out much faster than you think, and the life you are waiting to live needs to start this very second. I cannot make this choice for you, but I can tell you from experience, you do not want to be 73 years old looking back at your life and wishing you had made different choices. Don't waste 52 years figuring this out like I did. Learn from my mistakes. Live with intention. Focus on what matters. Stop waiting for someday. Someday is today. It always has been. If this message resonates with you, please share this video. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you are going to do differently in your life starting today. Subscribe to this channel because I have more truths to share with you, and I don't have much time left to share them. The clock is ticking for all of us. What are you going to do with your time?